Ladies and gentlemen, g'day, welcome back to the channel. My name's Economics Mate, and what you see in front of you is the Type 5 Heavy. It's a tank that, let's be real, has a legendary status in World of Tanks PC. It is a tank that honestly, I don't know what Wargaming were smoking when they decided to introduce this thing. It is absolutely crazy how much of an impact the Type 5 Heavy has made in World of Tanks PC. I remember when this tank first came out, it was absolutely ridiculous. It was insane. The alpha damage was crazy. The HE damage was crazy. It was a massive 150 or like 160 millimeter gun, something like that. I'm pretty sure it was like a 150 millimeter gun that did almost as much, if not more damage than the E100. It was crazy when it first came out, and it had all this armor. It was basically a better armored E100. That's what it was. So this is a Japanese super heavy tank. Now, with the likes of the Type 4 and the OI alongside the Type 5 Heavy, it does make you wonder, is Wargaming going to introduce the Type 5 Heavy into Blitz? And the answer to that question is yes, they are. Wargaming have said that in update 11.4 or 11.5 in World of Tanks PC, World of Tanks Blitz I should probably say, we are going to see... Did you see that shot, by the way? 700 alpha damage into the front of that tank. This is what this tank can do. Now, obviously, when it comes to Blitz, it's not going to have 700 plus alpha damage on its AP rounds. Look at that, 690 alpha damage with an AP shot. Insane, crazy. And don't forget, you have a bucket load of hit points and a bucket load of armor. This is what the mouse tank used to be like. It really is insane. So, let me run down a few of the things that Wargaming have said. So, Wargaming have stated that the Type 5 Heavy is going to come to Blitz. Now, there have been many speculations over the years that Wargaming are not going to introduce the Type 5 Heavy into Blitz because it just doesn't fit into Blitz. It doesn't fit. It's too big. And yet, we've had tanks like, for instance, the Soul Eater. We've had tanks introduced that, you know, you wouldn't have ever expected to be introduced, like the WTF E100, and yet they were introduced. So it begs the question, is this going to be introduced? And the answer to that question is yes, it's coming. It may not come now, but it will be coming in the foreseeable future. So, yeah, this is going to be one hell of a tank to have in Blitz. Why? Why is this going to be a good tank? Well, for starters, it's alpha damage is massive. That's number one. It's got big alpha damage. Number one. Look at that, 645 alpha damage into the side of that tank there. Come on. Like, and that's a 60 TP, that's a 60 TP. It's a 60 TP as well. I mean, if he had hit the Amarak area, he probably would have Amaraked him. What is there not to like? It's a Type 5 Heavy, for God's sake. It's a legendary tank in PC. This thing was so controversial when it came out. People were losing their shit. They were like, Wargaming, why are you introducing this tank? Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting wrecked by these things left, right, and center. And then you played them. Oh, by the way, that was a massive hit from the 60 TP on the rear. I mean, look, despite the fact that you have a lot of armor on the front of your tank, your rear doesn't have a lot of armor. Well, I mean, it's got a lot of armor, but it's going to be penned by anything at T10, let's face it. You're also, if you notice, this game is mainly comprised of T10 tanks, which is good, which is great. Now, how will this tank fit into Blitz? So it's a huge tank, that's number one. Number two, it's got a stupid amount of armor on the front and the turret. 3, it's going to have a huge amount of hit points. 4, it's going to have a big derp gun. And number 5, how is it going to compete against other T10 tanks and T9 tanks? Well, the answer to that question is in the form of the E100. The E100 has been in the game for a very long time. The mouse has been in the game for a very long time. The 60TP has been in the game for quite some years now. So the whole premise of a big, massive gun, and the Yak Panzer 100, I should probably say, big, massive gun, big tank, it's been in the game. It's in the game already, right? But this specific thing, the Type 5 Heavy is technically bigger than the mouse. So that's why people were saying, oh, it's too wide, it's not going to fit in Blitz, blah, 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 it's going to be too broken. Look at it this way. I cannot confirm whether Wargaming are going to introduce this tank as a tank line, or if they're going to introduce it as just a single collector tank at T10. I have no idea. I cannot confirm, I can't deny, I can't say anything, because I don't know. Okay, there's no speculation yet, there's nothing that's been tested, I have no idea. All I can say is it's coming. But, knowing Wargaming, and considering the fact that their reputation has been slightly sort of gone down, it's gone down a bit, right? By the way, can I just mention, this is a replay courtesy of a large show What replays. Link to this specific video is going to be in the description below, so just go check it out. Obviously, this is not my video. I don't have the Type 5 Heavy on my account, so I'm not going to be playing it. But going back to what, look. By the way, look, he's on fire and he's bouncing shots left, right, and center. He's barely on any hit points now. He's just bouncing shots galore right now. It's pretty crazy. What is there to say? I mean, seriously, it's going to be crazy. As I said, considering the fact that Wargaming's reputation has gone down a bit, okay, and yes, they have responded to all the Reforged things and all the feedback, blah, 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 which is fantastic, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think people need to understand that they want to uphold their reputation, okay? They want to show that they're actually listening to the community, which is good. And I think by introducing the Type 5 Heavy line, by introducing it as a heavy line, not as just a collector tank on its own, it's going to prove to be a pretty big sell. It's going to be a pretty big selling point, because it's going to show that a tank that we have lusted over for so many years, we've wanted this thing for so long, and now we have confirmation that it's coming to Blitz. They're going to be stupid. Wargaming will be stupid. It'll be a stupid business decision to introduce this tank as just a standalone collector T10 tank. It'll be stupid to do so. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to introduce the entire super heavy tank line. That's what I think they're going to do. Because why wouldn't they do it? Why wouldn't they? I mean, we have Japanese heavy tanks in the game already. Some of the tanks at the T5 and the T6 and the T7 tanks, they're big tanks. They're not small, they're big tanks. If they can fit those Japanese tanks, then they can fit the OI, they can fit the Type 4, they can fit the Type 5. No questions asked. I strongly believe that this is going to... By the way, sorry for that ad. I strongly believe that Wargaming are going to introduce this tank as a tank line. They're going to introduce a brand new super heavy tank line for the Japanese line, and they're going to introduce the Type 5 Heavy. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think Wargaming are going to do, and they'd be stupid not to do this. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do it? It's crazy. Like, imagine putting it as one single tank and putting it in crates. We would lose our shit. It would be like, Wargaming, what the frick is wrong with you? I mean, they put the K2, in freaking crates that they gave away for free. They put it in crates. You can buy them in crates. Why Wargaming? You're trying to uphold your reputation here, and you're basically making us gamble to get a tank we got for free. Not cool. Anyway, my point being, I believe Wargaming are going to introduce the Type 5 Heavy as a tank line, not as a single collector tank at T10. That is my opinions. You can disagree if you want to. I have a strong feeling they're not going to be dumb enough to introduce this as just a collector tank. They're not going to do it, because we would lose our shit. Every single person I know is going to be very upset if this happens. I can guarantee you they're going to be upset. There's no way, there's no two ways around it. I know for a fact people are they're gonna get very angry. Let's face it. So that would be my opinions. I think this is gonna come as a tank line, not as a standalone tank. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see this. And by the way, I don't want you guys to think, or if any wargaming officials are watching this, or any of the devs of the marketing team, please know this. I'm not talking shit about you guys. I'm not trying to degrade you or disrespect you. I'm just saying, I'm talking as an Aussie. As an Aussie who loves the community and is looking out for the Blitz community. Please do not introduce the Type 5 Heavy as some stupid collector tank at tier 10 and put it in crates so we have to gamble for it. Don't do that because you will lose more players. Introduce it like as you would any other tank line. Put it in a tech tree. Bring out the other super heavies, the Type 4, the OI. Bring these tanks in. This is the tanks that we wanted in Blitz. Bring them in. Same thing with the Stridsvagn 103B. We know you are planning on introducing that tank later on when Reforged comes out. Cool. Make it a tech tree line. Do not bring it in as some stupid collector tank at tier 10. We will not accept it. I will not accept it. So please, Wargaming, this is a message to you. Don't make a stupid, silly mistake and make this thing a tier 10 collector tank. Introduce it as a tech tree. We won't have any problems with that, and we love it. We want people to play it. And then there's the instance of, oh, but there's going to be so many noobs and whatever, they're going to be playing this thing, it's going to ruin tier 10. Look at it this way. When the 60 TP came out, everyone was playing it. Don't tell me it was ruined because of tier 10. Tier 10 was ruined because of 60 TP, everyone was playing it. What about when Type 71 came out? What about when any tier 10 tank that came out that was cooked, or that was broken, or that was OP? People were playing it. Everyone was playing it. So, there's no point in trying to argue. The inevitable will happen. So, just accept it. As long as it's in the tech tree, I'll be more than happy to grind it. So, Wargaming, please, introduce this tank as a tech tree line. Don't bring it out as a collector. And the ultimate question, as I said, is this going to fit in Blitz? Yes, it will. It will fit. It will fit. It will fit. Look at the Project Marat, a perfect example. The Project Marat is meant to be a medium tank, and yet for some reason, it's as big as a freaking mouse tank. So if they can introduce a medium tank that's as big as a mouse, then I'm pretty sure they can introduce a Type 5 Heavy. They can make it fit, no problems at all. Anyways, guys, let's not shy away from the replay that we're watching right now. And the amount of block damage that he's got, and the amount of damage that he's dealt. He's done over 9,000 damage, and he's blocked almost 4,000 damage. That's pretty insane, even by PC standards. So you can imagine that when it comes into Blitz, it's got to be rebalanced so it fits into Blitz properly. But I have a sneaking suspicion when this comes out, it's going to be like the Type 71, where the Type 71, when it came down, was completely cooked. And cooked in our language means broken. It means broken. It means very, very, very good. And I feel like the Type 5 Heavy is going to be that very, very, very good tank. And then they're going to nerf it. That's how I think it's going to come out. Anyway, that's enough babbling from me. Ladies and gentlemen, the Type 5 Heavy is coming to Blitz. Boy, oh, Cleveland, Ohio. Hopefully it comes to tech tree and not as some stupid tier 10 collector tank because we have enough of them already. Love you all. Take care. I know you want to probably see the replay towards the end, but let's face it, it's just him against all these other tanks. Anyway, look after yourselves. By the way, he's done over 10,000 damage. I just want to point that out there, and blocked more than 4,000 damage. Crazy numbers. Look after yourselves. Look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, and I'll see you on the battlefield, actually. Who knows? I might catch you on the battlefield if you play on APAC. It's nice to catch you guys in the chat and when we're playing in the battles. All right, peace out. Love you.